Now, last week I was feeling a little bit sick. I had a fever, I was running, my nose was running. Oh my goodness. Now, last week I was feeling a little bit sick. I had a fever, I was lying in bed for most of the day, and I didn't want to get up to do anything. But I needed to feed my bearded dragons, and it was already a couple of days where I didn't feed them, and usually reptiles can go a couple of days without eating, but I already knew that I reached that limit where they were gonna be starving. So what I decided to do for today's video is give you guys a couple of steps that helped me to be prepared for when I am sick. Now, there's no real time or know-how on exactly when you're gonna be sick, but that day is gonna come. And unfortunately for me, it was actually a couple of days ago that I was feeling sick, but luckily I had these things in hand to help me get by and still provide everything that I can for my bearded dragons to thrive. You see what I mean? I am a poet. I don't know how, those words kind of sounded very fluid. Oh my goodness. Maybe it's still the medication. It's probably still the medication. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it was a rough couple of days. I was just sick. I didn't want to get out of bed, and I knew I needed to take care of my bearded dragon. But in today's video, I decided to share with you guys a couple of things that you guys could keep in hand. That way you could give to your bearded dragons and they could still thrive. So with that being said, let's get started. Now, the very first thing you should always have is an emergency reptile kit. Before getting sick, you should put together an emergency kit for your bearded dragon, just in case you do get sick. You at least have some things in hand that could help you out. That way you're not running around looking for things. Now, this kit doesn't have to be complicated. This kit should include some basic needs that your bearded dragon requires. That way, if someone else is taking care of your bearded dragon, they have everything right there. And if you do have to go and take care of your bearded dragon yourself, you're not running around looking for things. Now, my emergency kit includes some food, water droplets, calcium powder, some cash, and of course we got some pair of tongs, because we all know that chasing around these tongs for whatever reason, like they have legs, it sucks. And imagine doing that while you are sick. Now, of course, the calcium powder is really great for your bearded dragons to, eat, as well as the water droplets. You could go in there and give some water for your bearded dragons, and the cash could be used for bearded dragon treats. Now, this little kit could be also very simple to put together, as well as with the proper instructions. You could just give it to someone and be like, hey, look, this is all you need to give my bearded dragons for these couple of days, and hopefully your bearded dragon does well. Now, like I said, the emergency kit could include so many other things. These are just some basic things that you could put together, and just have in a group. That way your bearded dragons could still have some things while you are away. Now, around this time that you are sick, you might not want to get out of bed. So it's important that you have someone come by that you trust and look after them for the time being. Of course, as long as they don't get sick as well. You want to make sure that you do at least have someone come by and look after them, because even though bearded dragons can go a couple of days without food and water, they still require their needs. Now, there is reptile stores and pet shops that provide boarding where you could take your reptile, and for a fee they look after them themselves, but that's really up to you if that is the route you want to take. And like I said, you might be sick just for a couple of days like how I was, and my bearded dragons were perfectly fine for the time being. That emergency kit definitely came in handy because I wasn't running around looking for it. Now, like I mentioned, bearded dragons are pretty hardy reptiles where they don't really need to be eating every single day, but you do still need to give them what they require. Now, when it comes to bearded dragons, especially around this time when you are sick, you definitely want to be taking care of your health and getting that rest. But when it comes to bearded dragons, you do want to give them enough food that they can survive these a few days where they're not getting their frequent meals on time, on point. You might skip a meal, so you definitely want to give them that extra bit of food. For me, I always give my bearded dragons that extra bit of hornworms or super worms. That way they could stay full a little bit longer and they could go a couple more hours without feeding or without them going crazy and trying to eat everything in their enclosure. Now, if you do have to handle your bearded dragons because they're somewhere in the enclosure and you just have to move them somewhere, definitely wash your hands and use hand sanitizer. Not that you're gonna get your bearded dragon sick, because I don't think your bearded dragons could get the common flu or cold that you may have, but you definitely don't want to be sharing too much bacteria back and forth and get yourself even more sick or get your bearded dragon into problems as well. So definitely wash your hands and use hand sanitizer as well. That will help out too. Now I wanted to put together this video to help out any of you guys out there who might be sick. This whole week I pretty much was sick. I still kind of am. I don't know if you guys could hear in my voice, but I feel a lot better. So thankfully I could get back onto recording these videos as well and giving my bearded dragons what they need as well too. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and hopefully you guys do recover if you are sick, because that is just the worst. Having to do reptile chores and push through your illness, oh man, I could feel your pain if you are sick right now. But hopefully you guys feel better if you are sick. But with that being said, that is it for today's video. I'm Lord of Lion. Keep the blood pumping, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.
You gotta hit that notification, hit that notification, hit that notification button, baby. You gotta hit that notification, hit that notification, hit that notification.